The greatest power you seek has always been within you, hidden in the rhythm of your breath. Masters of old knew this secret, using the breath to unlock clarity, energy, and transformation. Now, as you listen, you will rediscover this forgotten wisdom and awaken the limitless force within. The inner power. Introduction. The sacred breath moves through all living things, flowing like an invisible river that connects the smallest grain of sand to the vastness of the cosmos. Within you lies this same divine current, waiting to be awakened through the ancient art of conscious breathing. This power has existed since the dawn of creation, yet its secrets have remained veiled from those who seek them in the outer world. The masters of old understood that transformation begins not with grand gestures or complex rituals, but with the simplest of acts, the conscious breath. When you align your breathing with the universal rhythm, you tap into the same force that moves the tides and spins the planets in their celestial dance. Each breath becomes a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms, between limitation and infinite possibility. The universe speaks in the language of vibration, and your breath is the instrument through which you can attune yourself to its frequency. As you inhale, you draw in not just air, but the very essence of creation. As you exhale, you release not just breath, but all that stands between you and your highest potential. This wisdom has been preserved in the mystery schools of every age, passed down through whispered teachings and sacred texts. Now, as you read these words, you stand at the threshold of this ancient knowledge. The power of transformation lies not in some distant future or far-off place, but in this very moment, in the space between your thoughts, in the rhythm of your breath. The breath you take now, in this moment of recognition, holds within it the seed of your transformation. It carries the power to dissolve the barriers between what is and what could be. Through conscious breathing, you become both the artist and the masterpiece, the sculptor and the clay, the dreamer and the dream. Part 1. Awakening the Breath of Creation. Chapter 1. The First Breath of Awareness. In the heart of the endless sands, where time itself seemed to melt under the relentless sun, walked Amir, a traveler who had strayed from his path. His water skin hung empty at his side, each step becoming heavier than the last, until finally his knees met the burning sand. As his consciousness began to fade like a mirage, a figure emerged from the shimmering heat, an aged sage wrapped in white robes. The sage offered no water, no shade, no physical comfort. Instead, he knelt beside Amir and spoke with the gentleness of evening wind. Your salvation lies not in what you seek, but in how you breathe. Placing his hand on Amir's chest, the sage guided him. Draw breath from your depths, as though drinking from an endless well. With each guided breath, color returned to Amir's face. Now, release slowly, letting go of all that weighs upon your spirit. As Amir followed these instructions, strength flowed back into his limbs. Within moments, his vision cleared, and there, not half a mile distant, stood a grove of palm trees he had somehow missed in his desperation. The oasis had been within reach all along, hidden not by distance, but by the veil of his own fear. You too may be breathing in patterns of limitation. Watch those around you. Notice how they breathe when afraid, shallow, quick, restricted. Their breath mirrors their inner state, keeping them bound to old patterns of thinking and being. Yet within you lies the power to transform this pattern. Young Maya discovered this truth while sitting by the ocean's edge. As waves rolled endlessly toward shore, she noticed something remarkable. The sea itself was breathing. In and out, it moved, in perfect rhythm. The wind in the trees, the clouds in the sky, all danced to this same cosmic breath. In that moment of clarity, Maya understood that she too was part of this grand rhythm. Just as Maya recognized the universal breath in nature's dance, you can discover this connection within yourself. When your breath aligns with the natural flow of life, doors open that once seemed sealed, paths appear that were previously hidden. Practice. The ancient breath of alignment. Sit in stillness for a moment. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your abdomen. Without trying to change anything, simply observe your breath. Notice its rhythm, its depth, its quality. Where does it begin? Where does it end? What thoughts arise with each inhale? What emotions surface with each exhale? This awareness alone begins the transformation. Let each breath flow naturally, becoming a mirror that reflects the connection between your inner state and the universal rhythm that moves through all things. Chapter 2. The Forgotten Key to Manifestation. High in the mist-shrouded mountains, where ancient stones held secrets passed down through countless generations, a young student named Chen approached his master in the temple courtyard. The question that burned in his heart could no longer be contained. "Master," he said, bowing deeply, "I have followed the teachings faithfully. I visualize, I affirm, I believe. Yet why do my desires take so long to manifest?" The master, who had been tending to the temple's sacred flowers, straightened slowly and observed Chen's breathing. "Because you are breathing in a way that delays them," he replied simply. Chen's laughter echoed against the stone walls, but it quickly faded when he saw his master's unwavering gaze. "Watch," the master instructed. "Your breath is shallow, uncertain, like one who stands at the edge of a cliff, afraid to move forward. Each hesitant breath tells the universe you are not ready to receive." Through the long hours that followed, the master revealed how Chen's breathing pattern mirrored his relationship with manifestation, cautious, doubtful, always holding back. "The breath," the master explained, "is your first exchange with the infinite field of possibilities. It is through breath that you declare your readiness to receive." In the valleys below the monastery lived May, a gifted musician whose melodies never quite reached the perfection she sought. Night after night she practiced, yet her songs remained slightly out of tune with the harmony she heard in her heart. Until one evening, an old woman passing by her window paused to listen. "Your music is beautiful," the woman said, "but you are not breathing with it." She taught May to inhale the essence of each note before playing it, to let her breath carry the melody before her fingers touched the strings. When May learned to breathe in harmony with the music she wished to create, her songs finally matched the beauty she had always imagined. Practice. The breath of manifestation. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and imagine what you wish to manifest already exists. Now breathe as though you are already living in that reality. If it is abundance you seek, breathe with the calm assurance of one who knows all needs are met. If it is love you seek, breathe with the warmth and fullness of a heart already overflowing with deep affection. Feel how your chest expands with each breath, as though your entire being radiates the pure joy of perfect love. Let each inhale draw in the sacred essence of what you desire, filling every cell of your body with its divine presence, and let each exhale release any lingering doubt, fear, or resistance that stands between you and this blessed state. Continue this sacred rhythm until your breath naturally aligns with the feeling of already having received your desire, until the very air around you seems to pulse with the reality you wish to manifest. In this space of perfect alignment, you become one with your deepest longings. Chapter 3. The Ancient Secrets Hidden in Every Inhale. In the flickering light of oil lamps, beneath the shadows of ancient Egyptian temples, a young scribe named Amenhotep traced sacred hieroglyphs onto papyrus. His hand moved steadily across the page until he encountered words that made him pause. Through divine breath, the gods wove existence into being. You see, this truth has echoed through the corridors of time. When Amenhotep sought wisdom from the temple elder, the answer came with the weight of ages: breath is creation. This was not metaphor, but the deepest truth of existence itself. The power you hold within your breath has been known by every great civilization. The yogis of India spoke of prana, the life force flowing through all things. The Taoist masters cultivated qi, understanding it as the essence of transformation. The Hebrew mystics recognized ruach, the divine breath that moves between worlds. These were not separate teachings, but one truth viewed through different windows. What the ancients knew through direct experience, modern science now validates through research. Your breath directly influences your brainwaves, heart rhythm, and the electromagnetic field that surrounds your body. Each conscious breath alters your biochemistry, shifting you into alignment with higher states of being. In a monastery high in the Himalayas, a manuscript lay hidden for centuries, protected by those who understood its power. When finally revealed, its pages contained but one instruction: breathe as if you are one with all things, and you will become one with all things. This simple teaching holds the key to your transformation. Practice the breath of unity. Sit in stillness and allow your awareness to rest on your natural breath. Feel how each inhale draws in universal energy, filling you with divine light. As you exhale, sense your breath merging with the infinite field of creation around you. Now consciously expand your breath until you feel your energy field extending beyond your physical form. With each inhale, draw in the power that creates worlds. With each exhale, dissolve the illusion of separation between you and the universe. Continue breathing this way until you sense yourself as pure consciousness, one with all that is. In this state, you become a living channel for the same creative force that breathes stars into existence. This is not merely visualization, it is remembering your true nature as a creator being, one breath at a time. Chapter 4. Breaking the Chains of Shallow Breathing. In the mountains of ancient China, a weary traveler named Chen approached the temple of infinite breath. His shoulders bore the weight of countless questions, yet when he finally stood before the temple master, no words passed between them. The master, weathered by wisdom, simply motioned Chen to lie down. Without warning, the master placed a heavy stone upon Chen's chest. Minutes crawled by like centuries as the pressure mounted. Chen's shallow breaths grew desperate until, in a moment of surrender, something ancient awakened within him. His body instinctively drew in a breath so deep, so powerful, it seemed to fill every cell with light. The stone rolled away as his chest expanded fully for the first time in years. That, the master said, breaking the sacred silence, was your first real breath. You too have forgotten the power of true breathing. Modern existence has trained your body to breathe in quick, shallow gasps, matching the frantic pace of a world that has lost its rhythm. Each restricted breath reinforces patterns of limitation, stress, and disconnect from your natural state of power. In a distant valley, a golden bird lived in a cage with its door left open. Day after day, it remained inside, wings folded, breathing in tiny sips of air. Other birds called to it, but it had forgotten its true nature. Then one morning, as sunlight streamed through the bars, the bird took a full, deep breath. In that moment, its wings unfurled naturally, and it remembered it had always been free to fly. Like this bird, you have been living in a cage of shallow breathing. Your breath has become timid, hesitant, reflecting beliefs that keep you bound. But freedom awaits in the simple act of breathing fully, deeply, as nature intended. Practice the breath of liberation. Lie on your back and place your hands on your lower abdomen. Feel the weight of your body surrendering to the earth. Now breathe deeply into your belly, allowing it to rise like a gentle wave. Feel your diaphragm expand downward, creating space for your lungs to fill completely. With each inhale, let your belly rise fully. With each exhale, feel it fall naturally. Notice how this deeper breathing begins to dissolve tension you didn't even know you carried. Continue for several minutes, allowing each breath to be slightly fuller than the last. This is not merely an exercise. It is a remembering of your natural state, a reclaiming of the power that has always been yours. Chapter 5. The Quantum Breath, a portal to instant change. In the hallowed halls of a prestigious university, a gathering took place that would unveil one of the universe's most guarded secrets. A scholar named Thomas sat between two remarkable individuals, Dr. Zhang, a quantum physicist whose research had revolutionized our understanding of particle behavior, and Master Karim, whose lineage of breathwork stretched back through centuries of mystic tradition. How do things change instantly? Thomas asked them both. Dr. Zhang spoke first, her eyes alight with scientific passion. In quantum mechanics, we observe particles that appear to communicate instantaneously across vast distances. When one particle shifts its state, its entangled partner responds immediately, regardless of physical separation. This defies our classical understanding of cause and effect. Master Karim nodded, a knowing smile playing across his features. The ancient ones spoke of this same principle. Through breath, we alter our vibration instantly. As above, so below, the microcosm reflects the macrocosm. When you shift your breath, you shift your entire energetic field. You see, these two perspectives illuminate the same truth from different angles. The breath serves as your quantum connection to the field of infinite possibility. Each conscious breath creates a wave of change that ripples through your entire being, shifting your vibrational frequency in an instant. In the mountains of Tibet, there lived an artist named Wei, who struggled endlessly with his craft. His hands moved skillfully across stone, yet his sculptures never captured the vision he held within. One day, an elder taught him the secret of breathing into his creations. Before you touch the stone, the elder said, breathe as though your vision is already complete. Wei closed his eyes and began to breathe, as if the masterpiece already existed. With each breath, he felt himself merge with the finished work. When his chisel finally touched stone, it moved with perfect precision, as though the sculpture was simply revealing itself. The same principle applies to your manifestations. When you breathe as though your desire is already realized, you align your entire being with that reality. This is not visualization alone. It is quantum alignment through conscious breath. Practice the quantum breath of instantaneous shift. Sit in stillness and bring to mind something you wish to manifest. Now, breathe as though it is already yours. Feel the satisfaction, the completion, the absolute knowing in every cell of your body. Let each inhale draw in the essence of your realized desire, and each exhale release any doubt or resistance. Continue this breath pattern for several minutes, allowing yourself to fully embody the feeling of your manifestation as present reality. Your breath becomes the bridge between what is and what will be, creating an instantaneous shift in your vibrational frequency. Chapter 6. The Universal Rhythm of Breath and Energy. Along the shores of an ancient sea, a traveler named Rashid walked at dawn. His eyes traced the rhythmic dance of waves against sand, the perfect timing of each surge and retreat. Above him, The waning moon hung like a silver medallion, its cycles marking time since the beginning of existence. You too have felt this discord, the sensation of moving against life's natural flow. Like Rashid, you observe the seamless orchestration of nature while feeling somehow separate from its harmony. The universe moves in cycles, each breath of creation perfectly timed. The trees inhale what you exhale, the oceans rise and fall like a great chest breathing, the stars pulse with celestial rhythm. Nothing in nature rushes or forces, everything flows in divine timing. When you breathe in harmony with these universal rhythms, life responds in kind. Your energy field synchronizes with the natural order, and what once felt like struggle transforms into effortless flow. In a distant city lived Sophia, a gifted violinist whose performances fell short of her potential. Though her technique was flawless, something was missing. Her music lacked soul. Night after night, she played with technical precision but no magic, her breathing erratic and tense. One evening, an old maestro watched her perform. After the concert, he approached her. "Your breath fights the music," he said simply. "Let the melody breathe through you." The next day, Sophia began again. This time, she allowed her breath to move with the music's natural rhythm. As she played, her breath became one with the rise and fall of each phrase. The transformation was immediate. Her music came alive, touching hearts as never before. Practice the breath of universal rhythm. Find a quiet space where you can observe natural cycles, the wind in trees, waves on a shore, or simply the rise and set of the sun. Begin to notice how your breath naturally wants to align with these rhythms. Allow your breathing to synchronize with what you observe. If watching waves, let your inhale rise with the surge, your exhale fall with the retreat. If observing sunrise or sunset, breathe in the expanding light of dawn or the deepening hues of dusk. Continue this practice until you feel your entire being harmonizing with nature's rhythm. This is your natural state, in perfect synchronicity with the breath of life itself. Chapter 7. Feeling through the breath, activating the law of assumption. A young boy named Thomas stood at the edge of what seemed like an endless chasm. Though blindfolded, he had been assured a bridge would carry him safely across. His small hands trembled, his breath coming in short, fearful gasps. You know this feeling well, the gap between where you stand and where you wish to be. Like Thomas, you face moments when faith must override fear, when breathing into certainty becomes the bridge itself. The law of assumption operates through the wisdom of your body. Each breath shapes your biological reality, influencing heart rate, brain waves, and hormonal balance. When you breathe as though your desire is already yours, your nervous system responds accordingly. This is not metaphor, but measurable truth. Your breath literally rewires your cellular memory to align with new possibilities. In the mountains of ancient China lived a warrior named Chen. On the eve of an impossible battle, while others strategized, he sat in stillness. With each inhale, he breathed in the feeling of victory already achieved. With each exhale, he released any trace of doubt. By dawn, his entire being radiated the certainty of triumph. Before the first sword was drawn, the battle was already won in his breath. This is the forgotten key to manifestation, breathing from the end result. When you inhale, you must breathe as the version of yourself who already has what you seek. Your breath becomes the bridge between what is and what will be. Practice the breath of embodied reality. Close your eyes and picture your desire as already fulfilled. Feel it with every sense. See it, touch it, know it as real. Now breathe as that version of yourself would breathe. Let each inhale fill you with the calm certainty of one who already possesses what they seek. Let each exhale release any remaining doubt. Continue breathing this way until your body accepts this new reality as truth. Your breath is reshaping your cellular memory, aligning your entire being with the frequency of fulfillment. What you seek is seeking you through the power of your conscious breath. Chapter 8. The Power of Stillness Between Breaths. A disciple named Ravi sat before his master in a dimly lit chamber. "Where does creation happen?" he asked, his voice filled with eager curiosity. The master's response came not in words, but in action. He lit a single candle, its flame dancing in the stillness. Then, with gentle precision, he extinguished it. Not in the flame, not in the breath, but in the silence between them. You have been searching outside yourself for the power of creation, yet it dwells in the spaces you have learned to overlook. Between every inhale and every exhale lies a gateway to infinite potential. A moment of pure stillness where transformation becomes possible. In the ancient traditions, this space was known as the void, the womb of creation itself. It is here, in perfect stillness, that your thoughts crystallize into form. Modern life has taught you to rush past these sacred pauses, filling every moment with movement and noise. But true mastery of manifestation requires embracing these intervals of silence. In a workshop among snow-capped peaks lived a master clockmaker named Dominic. Day after day, he crafted timepieces of extraordinary precision, yet something eluded him. One night, as he sat listening to his finest creation, he noticed not the ticking, but the space between each tick. In that microscopic pause, he discovered something remarkable, a moment outside of time itself. It was in these intervals that he found the secret to creating timepieces that seemed to bend reality. The pause between breaths is your gateway to the timeless. When you learn to rest in this space, you step outside the linear flow of events and into the realm where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Here, in the void between breaths, you can reshape reality itself. Sacred breath practice, the void of creation. Sit in perfect stillness. Allow your breath to flow naturally, then begin to notice the subtle pause after each exhale. Do not force or extend it. Simply observe. With each breath cycle, let your awareness sink deeper into these spaces of silence. Feel how time seems to suspend itself in these moments. This is the void where manifestation begins, the sacred space between breaths where thought transforms into reality. Continue this practice until you feel yourself merging with the stillness, becoming one with the creative force that flows through all things. Chapter 9. Aligning your breath with abundance. In a village where the earth had cracked from drought lived a farmer named Thomas. His fields lay barren under the merciless sun, and each morning he would fall to his knees, pleading with clenched fists for rain. His prayers, born of desperation, echoed into empty skies. You see, Thomas embodied the very essence of lack. His breath was shallow, constricted by fear, matching the tightness of his empty grain stores. His every inhale spoke of scarcity, every exhale whispered of want. One evening, as he knelt in his dusty field, an old sage appeared. Without a word, the sage placed a hand on Thomas's shoulder and guided him to sit. "Breathe," the sage instructed, not as one who begs for rain, but as one who feels its blessing already upon his skin. The sage taught Thomas to breathe deeply, fully, with the certainty of abundance. With each breath, Thomas began to feel the cool moisture in the air, the weight of water-laden clouds, the freshness before rainfall. That very night, the skies opened. In the marketplace of a distant city, a merchant named Karim faced ruin. His shelves grew empty, his ledgers showed mounting losses, yet his transformation came not through new strategies or desperate measures, but through the wisdom of his breath. Each morning before opening his shop, Karim would breathe as though his coffers were already full. His inhales carried the scent of success. His exhales released all doubt. Within one moon cycle, his fortunes reversed, not by chance, but by the law that governs all things. Your breath patterns your reality. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are. When you breathe in poverty, you exhale lack. When you breathe in abundance, you become a magnet for prosperity. This is not metaphor, but the deepest law of manifestation. The breath of abundance practice. Sit in perfect alignment, your spine straight as a golden pillar. Begin by breathing deeply into your belly, allowing each breath to fill you with the feeling of infinite abundance. As you inhale, feel wealth flowing into every cell of your being. As you exhale, release all patterns of lack. Visualize golden light filling your energy field with each inhalation. Continue this breath pattern for 12 cycles, feeling yourself become one with the frequency of prosperity. Let each breath affirm, abundance flows to me as naturally as air fills my lungs. This ancient practice, when performed with unwavering faith, attunes your entire being to the vibration of wealth. Chapter 10. The breath of letting go, releasing resistance. In the depths of the ocean, where light barely reaches, a man named Rajan struggled against the mighty waves. His arms thrashed, his lungs burned, and with each desperate movement, he sank deeper into the darkness. You see this same pattern in your own life. The more you fight against what is, the more you sink into what you fear. Watch closely as Rajan's story unfolds. The moment of transformation came not through increased effort, but through its opposite. As his strength failed him, something ancient and wise awakened within. He surrendered. His body relaxed, and suddenly he found himself floating effortlessly upon the surface. This truth echoes through the ages. The tighter you grip, the more life slips through your fingers. Your breath holds this wisdom. Each time you exhale fully, completely, you practice the art of letting go. In the mountains of the east, there lived an archer named Chen. Day after day he practiced his art, his arrows falling short of their mark. His shoulders were tense, his grip too tight, his breath held in anticipation of failure. Then one morning as dawn painted the sky, he learned to breathe differently. With each exhale, Chen released not just air, but his attachment to the outcome. He loosed his arrows while breathing out, surrendering control of their flight. In that release, in that trust, his arrows found their mark with uncanny precision. You have been holding your breath, clutching your desires so tightly they cannot move. The universe operates in paradox. What you chase runs faster. What you release returns of its own accord. This is why the final breath practice I share with you now is the most powerful of all. The breath of surrender. Settle into a space of silence. Begin with a deep inhalation, filling yourself completely. Then, as you exhale, release everything, your hopes, your fears, your need to control. Let your exhale be long, slow, complete. Feel how your body naturally surrenders to gravity. With each breath cycle, focus on the exhale. Notice how life itself supports you when you stop fighting it. Continue this practice until you feel the deep peace that comes with true letting go. This is not resignation, but alignment with the flow of universal forces. In surrender, you find your greatest power. Part 2, breathing life into your desires. Chapter 11, the magnetic breath, how to attract effortlessly. In the early mists of dawn, where the sea meets the shore, there lived a fisherman named Hector. Each morning, he would cast his nets with desperate force, his movements frantic, his breath shallow and quick. Yet each evening he returned home with empty nets and a heavy heart. You too have felt this struggle. The harder you chase what you desire, the more it seems to slip away. Like Hector, you may find yourself exhausting your energy in pursuit, unaware that your very breath pattern creates resistance. One morning, as Hector prepared to cast his nets, an old man appeared beside him. His presence carried the wisdom of countless tides. "Your breath fights the ocean," he said simply. "When you grasp, the fish scatter. When you align, they gather." The old man taught Hector to slow his breathing, to feel the rhythm of the waves. With each inhale, he absorbed the ocean's energy. With each exhale, he released his net in perfect harmony with the water's flow. That evening, his nets nearly burst with abundance. In the mountains far to the east, a wanderer named Kai never used maps, yet always found his way. Those who met him noticed his peculiar way of breathing, deep, unhurried, as if each breath drew him naturally toward his destination. He never rushed, never forced his path. Instead, he allowed his breath to guide him, trusting in its wisdom to lead him where he needed to be. These stories reveal a fundamental truth about attraction. What you seek is already seeking you. Your breath is the bridge between desire and manifestation. When you breathe in alignment with what you wish to attract, you create a magnetic field that draws it toward you effortlessly. The breath of magnetic attraction. Sit quietly and bring to mind what you wish to attract. Begin breathing slowly, deeply. As you inhale, imagine you are drawing in the essence of your desire. Feel it filling your entire being. As you exhale, release any tension or forcing. Let your breath create a gentle current, pulling your desire closer with each cycle. Continue until you feel the magnetic connection established between you and what you seek. This practice aligns your energy field with the natural flow of attraction, allowing manifestation to unfold with grace rather than struggle. Like a river finding its path to the sea, your intention moves through the currents of universal energy, gathering momentum as it travels. When you release the need to force outcomes and instead trust in this magnetic alignment, you open yourself to receive in ways far greater than your mind alone could devise. Chapter 12. The Breath of Certainty. Removing Doubt. In the sacred grounds of an ancient temple, a young archer named Jin stood trembling before his target. His hands quivered, his chest tight with shallow breaths that betrayed his inner turmoil. "I fear missing," he whispered to the master who watched silently beside him. "You know this feeling well. The constriction in your chest when doubt creeps in, the way your breath becomes short and uncertain. Like Jin, you may find your desires held captive by the very rhythm of your breathing." The master's words cut through the morning air. "Your breath does not believe in the arrow's flight, so neither does the arrow." In that moment, Jin understood. Taking one deep, purposeful inhale, he allowed certainty to fill his lungs. As he exhaled, the arrow flew true, finding its mark with perfect precision. In a distant valley, a woman named Maya lived beneath the shadow of self-doubt. Each morning she would gaze at her reflection, her breath caught in her throat, unable to recognize her own power. Until one day she discovered that by breathing with absolute certainty, deep, steady breaths that spoke of unwavering self-worth, the world began to mirror back her inner transformation. This reveals the hidden mechanism of doubt. It lives not just in your thoughts, but in the very pattern of your breathing. Modern science has unveiled what the ancients knew. Your breath shapes your brain chemistry, altering the very foundation of belief and certainty. The breath of unshakable certainty. Begin by placing your hand on your heart, connecting to the ancient wisdom that flows through your very being. Inhale deeply, feeling certainty fill your entire being, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Hold this breath briefly, allowing it to saturate every cell, every fiber of your existence. As you exhale, release any remnant of doubt. letting it dissolve like morning mist in the warmth of dawn. With each breath cycle, strengthen this feeling of absolute knowing, building it like a fortress of faith within your soul. Continue until you feel an unshakable alignment with your desire, as natural as the rising sun, as certain as the stars that guide travelers home. Let this breath become your anchor to truth, your bridge to the infinite power that has always resided within you. Chapter 13. The Breath of Gratitude, the Fastest Way to Receive. In a palace of white marble, a servant named Karim knelt before his master, receiving a simple clay cup filled with water. Though the vessel was humble, Karim's eyes shone with appreciation. He lifted the cup to his lips, breathing in the aroma of fresh spring water, his chest rising with gratitude before taking the first sip. Each breath, each swallow became a prayer of thanksgiving. You too hold this power within your breath. The depth of your gratitude determines the magnitude of what flows into your life. Like Karim, when you breathe with appreciation for what is before you, you create space for greater abundance to enter. Watching his servant's reverence, the master retrieved a golden goblet from his treasury. One who breathes in gratitude receives in abundance, he declared, placing the precious vessel in Karim's trembling hands. The universe responds not to what you have, but to how deeply you appreciate what is already yours. Modern research reveals what mystics have long understood. Gratitude combined with conscious breathing activates specific brainwave patterns associated with heightened receptivity and manifestation. Each grateful breath becomes a signal to the universe, a beacon calling forth more reasons for thanksgiving. In a distant land, a merchant named Reza lost his entire fortune to thieves. Yet each morning, he would stand facing the rising sun, breathing deeply, his heart overflowing with thanks for the air in his lungs, the ground beneath his feet, the light touching his face. With each breath of gratitude, his energy shifted, and soon, as if orchestrated by an unseen hand, opportunities appeared, connections manifested, and his wealth returned, multiplied tenfold. The breath of infinite gratitude. Sit in stillness. Placing both hands over your heart center, begin by inhaling deeply, filling yourself with appreciation for your breath itself, this precious gift that sustains your very existence. As you exhale, send waves of gratitude through your entire being, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. With each inhale, welcome thankfulness for what is, for every blessing that graces your present moment. With each exhale, express gratitude for what is coming, for the infinite possibilities already making their way to you. Feel how this sacred breath connects you to the eternal flow of abundance. Continue this practice until you feel your entire body resonating with thanksgiving, every cell singing with appreciation, knowing that each grateful breath magnetizes greater abundance into your life. Let this vibration of gratitude become your natural state of being, a beacon calling forth ever-increasing blessings. Chapter 14. The Breath of Visualization, Seeing While Feeling. In a quiet studio bathed in morning light, a sculptor named Thaddeus sat before an untouched block of marble. His hands remained still, his chisel untouched. Instead of rushing to carve, he closed his eyes and began to breathe. Not as a craftsman about to begin, but as an artist who had already completed his masterpiece. You possess this same creative power. The breath you take shapes the reality you make. When you breathe as though your desire is already manifest, you bridge the gap between vision and form. With each inhale, Thaddeus drew in the essence of his finished work. His breath flowed not around rough stone, but caressed the smooth curves and perfect lines that existed in potential. His body resonated with the feeling of accomplishment, his cells vibrating with the certainty of completion. Only when his breath matched his vision did he lift his chisel. The breath carries your imagination into physical form. Modern neuroscience reveals that synchronized breathing and visualization activate neural pathways that transform mental images into tangible reality. Your breath becomes the bridge between what you see in your mind and what manifests in your world. In a distant city, a merchant named Hassan faced mounting debts that seemed insurmountable. Each night, before sleep, he would breathe deeply, filling his lungs with the feeling of freedom from all financial burden. His breath carried not the weight of debt, but the lightness of abundance. Within weeks, unexpected opportunities arose, bringing precisely the resources needed to clear his obligations. The breath of living vision. Find a quiet space and settle into a comfortable position. Begin breathing slowly, deeply. As you inhale, draw in not just air, but the essence of your desire fulfilled. Feel it filling every cell of your being. With each exhale, release any doubt or resistance, knowing your vision is already complete in the unseen realm. Continue breathing this way, allowing your body to resonate with the feeling of already having what you seek. Let your breath carry you into the experience of your desire manifested. Feel the emotions, sense the details, embrace the certainty. Your breath becomes the living bridge between vision and reality, between what you imagine and what you create. With each inhalation, draw deeper into this sacred knowing, this profound understanding that what you envision already exists in the unseen realm. Let your entire being vibrate with the truth of your fulfilled desire, for in these moments of conscious breathing, you transcend the illusion of linear time. You stand in the eternal now, where all possibilities converge, where your dreams are not distant hopes, but present realities waiting to be acknowledged. Chapter 15. The Rhythm of Manifestation. When to inhale and when to exhale. In a small village among rolling hills, a farmer named Chen toiled endlessly in his fields. Each day he would push and prod at the soil, willing his crops to grow faster. His breath came in short, anxious bursts as he paced between the rows, checking each sprout for signs of progress. You, like Chen, may find yourself forcing the natural flow of manifestation. The universe operates on a sacred rhythm of giving and receiving, just as your breath moves in its eternal dance of inhale and exhale. One morning, as Chen stood frustrated in his field, an elder appeared. Without a word, she took his hand and placed it on the earth. "Feel how the soil breathes," she whispered. "It receives the rain, then releases its bounty. You cannot command the seed to sprout, just as you cannot command the breath to stay." The law of manifestation mirrors this truth. The inhale represents the moment of creation, drawing in possibility. The exhale embodies release, allowing your desires to unfold naturally. Most stumble because they remain fixed in one state, eternally grasping or endlessly waiting. In a distant valley, a young musician named Maya struggled with her flute. Her music felt rigid, mechanical. Each note fought against the next until an old master showed her the secret. "Your breath fights the instrument," he observed. "Breathe with it, as if you and the flute are one being." As Maya learned to synchronize her breath with her instrument, the music transformed. No longer was she playing the flute. They were dancing together in perfect harmony. The balance of breath practice. Sit in stillness and place your hands on your lap, palms facing upward. Begin with a deep, gentle inhale, feeling yourself receive universal energy. As you exhale, turn your palms downward, releasing all resistance. With each inhale, feel yourself drawing in what you desire, allowing it to fill your being completely. With each exhale, release the need to control how it manifests. Continue this rhythm, receiving with the inhale, surrendering with the exhale. Let your breath find its natural balance between giving and receiving, flowing like the eternal tides of the universe. Feel how this rhythm aligns you with the natural flow of manifestation, connecting you to the ancient dance of creation itself. Just as the farmer learned to trust the wisdom of the soil, patiently planting seeds and allowing nature's intelligence to work its magic, and the musician learned to dance with her instrument, surrendering to the sacred partnership between artist and art, you too will discover the perfect rhythm of creation. In this space of balanced breath, you become one with the universal forces that have guided seekers throughout the ages, understanding that manifestation is not about force, but about finding harmony with the natural order of all things. Chapter 16, The Alchemy of Breath and Thought. In a dimly lit chamber where ancient scrolls lay unfurled beneath flickering lamplight, a young scribe named Thaddeus noticed something extraordinary. As his quill traced the sacred names, he observed that each holy word seemed to dance with a hidden rhythm. You possess this same sacred connection between breath and word, though time has veiled this truth from your awareness. The ancients understood that breath was not merely air moving through the body, it was the force that gave life to intention. Watch closely, the master instructed Thaddeus. Each sacred name requires 3 breaths to write. This is no accident. The master demonstrated, inhaling deeply before inscribing the first stroke, holding the breath as the quill touched parchment, then releasing slowly as the character took form. Your thoughts, like these sacred inscriptions, gain power when carried on the breath. Modern science reveals that specific breathing patterns activate neural networks, amplifying the electrical signals of thought. When you breathe consciously while holding an intention, you create a resonance that echoes through the quantum field. In a distant land, a merchant named Rashid struggled to manifest his desires until he discovered the ancient art of breath-enhanced intention. Each morning, he would speak his truth while matching his words to his breath. Soon, what were once mere words became seeds of reality, sprouting into manifestation with surprising speed. The breath of power practice. Close your eyes and settle into a comfortable position. Begin by taking 3 deep centering breaths. Now choose your intention. Make it clear, concise, and present tense. As you inhale, silently gather the energy of your intention, drawing it up from the depths of your being like precious water from an ancient well. At the peak of your inhale, hold both breath and thought, feeling them merge into one force, unified in the sacred chamber of your heart. As you exhale, release your intention into the universe with complete trust, knowing it is already manifesting in ways both seen and unseen. Continue this rhythm with each affirmation. Inhale, gather, hold, merge, exhale, release. Let each cycle of breath carry your intention deeper into the fabric of reality, transforming mere words into living forces of creation. Feel how each breath becomes a bridge between your inner world and the infinite possibilities that await in the quantum field. With every cycle, your intention grows stronger, more refined, until it resonates with the very frequency of manifestation itself. Chapter 17. The Inner Shift, Becoming the New You Through Breath. In a forgotten dungeon deep beneath an ancient city, a man named Khalil sat motionless, though no chains bound his limbs. Each shallow breath he took reinforced the prison he had built within his mind. You too may feel bound by invisible restraints, the habits, beliefs, and patterns that keep you tethered to an old version of yourself. Yet freedom lies in a truth so simple, it often goes unnoticed. Your identity shifts with each breath you take. Watch, spoke the aged sage who appeared before Khalil's cell. Your breath tells the story of who you think you are. Breathe like a prisoner, and prison walls remain, breathe like a free man, and see what transforms. As Khalil drew in his first conscious breath, something awakened within him. With each subsequent inhale, he breathed in the essence of freedom. With each exhale, he released the weight of confinement. His circumstances remained unchanged, yet his inner reality shifted completely. The science of neuroplasticity confirms what mystics have long known. Your nervous system reorganizes itself based on your breathing patterns. When you breathe as your future self, your body begins to embody that reality. In distant lands lived Queen Amara, who inherited a modest kingdom. Yet each morning, she would breathe as though she already ruled the vast empire she envisioned. Her breath carried the authority of a sovereign whose domain stretched beyond horizon's edge. Within a year, neighboring kingdoms sought alliance, and her influence expanded naturally, effortlessly, for she had already become that queen in her breath. The breath of becoming practice. Sit in stillness and envision the version of yourself who has already achieved everything you desire. Feel their presence, their energy, their way of being. Now breathe as they breathe. Draw in the air as though you possess their confidence, their certainty, their knowing. Hold this breath briefly at the crown of your head, letting it infuse every cell with this new identity. As you exhale, release any remnant of the old self that no longer serves you. Continue breathing as this evolved version of yourself, steady, assured, empowered. Let each breath restructure your nervous system, rewiring old patterns into new possibilities. Feel how your body naturally adjusts its posture, its energy, its very essence to match this elevated state of being. Your breath is literally reshaping who you are, moment by moment, cell by cell. With every inhalation, you draw in more of this divine knowing, this unshakable certainty that you have already become who you were meant to be. Your muscles relax, your shoulders drop, your spine lengthens, all responding to the quiet authority that now flows through you. This is not mere visualization. It is the physical manifestation of your transformation, as natural as a flower turning toward the sun. Let your breath carry you deeper into this truth until it becomes your only reality. Chapter 18. The Breath of Love, Manifesting Relationships and Connection. In a bustling marketplace where thousands passed each day without a single genuine connection, a man named Ravi sat alone. Though surrounded by people, he felt invisible, as if a veil separated him from the world. You may recognize this feeling, the sense of disconnection that no amount of social interaction seems to heal. The truth lies not in seeking more connections, but in understanding how your breath either welcomes or repels them. As Ravi watched the crowds flow past, an elder in simple robes paused before him. "Why do I feel unseen?" Ravi asked, his voice barely a whisper. The sage's eyes held ancient knowing as he replied, "Because your breath has forgotten how to welcome." When you breathe in fear of rejection, you create subtle barriers that others unconsciously detect. Your breath carries your story of guardedness, of past hurts, of hesitation to connect. Modern research reveals that humans unconsciously synchronize breathing patterns when forming bonds. This synchronization releases oxytocin, the hormone of trust and connection. In a distant village lived two lovers, Maya and Arun, whose hearts had grown distant. Words only widened the gap between them until a wise woman taught them the ancient art of shared breath. Sitting in silence, they began to breathe, not as two separate beings, but as one rhythm. In that sacred space of synchronized breath, walls crumbled, understanding dawned, and love flowed again. The connection breath practice. Find a quiet space and settle into a comfortable position. Begin by placing one hand on your heart, feeling its steady rhythm. Breathe deeply, imagining each inhale drawing in universal love, each exhale radiating warmth and welcome. Let your breath become an invitation, open, gentle, accepting. Now visualize someone you wish to connect with more deeply. As you breathe in, receive their essence. As you breathe out, send them warmth. Feel how your breath creates a bridge between hearts, a sacred space where true connection can flourish. Continue this rhythm until you sense a shift in your energy field, from isolation to connection, from separation to oneness. This practice gently reprograms your nervous system, releasing old patterns of guardedness and fear that may have served you in the past, but no longer align with your highest good. As you continue this sacred rhythm of breath and intention, new neural pathways emerge, channels through which authentic connection can flow freely and abundantly. The ancient wisdom keepers understood this profound truth, that our breath holds the power to transform not only our own state of being, but the very fabric of our relationships with others. Use this practice before important meetings, during meaningful conversations, or whenever you wish to deepen your connections with those around you. Like a master key opening long-locked doors, it will reveal the infinite possibilities that await when hearts truly meet in openness and trust. Chapter 19. The Breath of Infinite Wealth. Unlocking Financial Abundance. In the shadow of ancient temple walls, a merchant named Kadir clutched his ledger, his fingers white with tension. His wealth, like water through cupped hands, seemed to always slip away despite his desperate grasp. You have felt this too. The tightness in your chest when thinking of money, the shallow breath of scarcity that has become so familiar. Yet within this pattern lies the key to its transformation. A mystic, watching Kadir's distress, approached with a handful of gold coins. "Hold these," he instructed, placing them in Kadir's palms. But as Kadir's fingers clenched around them, the coins slipped through, scattering across the stone floor. "Your breath is like your grasp," the mystic observed. "Breathe as if you already have wealth and you will never lack." This truth echoes through the ages. Your breath pattern directly influences your financial reality. When you breathe in constriction, you create energetic blockages that prevent abundance from flowing. Notice how your breath changes when you think of money. Does it become shallow, short, restricted? This is the breath of scarcity, and it signals to the universe that you operate from lack. In a distant city lived a beggar named Hassan, who had nothing but the clothes on his back. One night, a dream visitor taught him to breathe as kings breathe, deep, steady, assured. With each breath, Hassan began feeling the certainty of abundance in his bones. He walked differently, spoke differently, carried himself as one who knew his worth. Within months, opportunities appeared as if by magic. A merchant offered him work, then partnership, then shared ownership. Hassan's transformation began not with gold, but with breath. The Prosperity Breath Practice. Sit comfortably, allowing your spine to lengthen naturally. Place your hands on your lower abdomen, feeling it expand with each breath. Now breathe as wealth itself breathes, steady, flowing, abundant. Each inhale draws in unlimited prosperity. Each exhale releases all resistance to receiving. As you continue this rhythm, feel the difference between the tight breath of scarcity and the expansive breath of abundance. Let your chest open, your shoulders relax. Breathe as someone who knows that wealth is their natural state. With each cycle, silently affirm, "I breathe as abundance itself breathes. I am one with infinite prosperity." Continue until you feel the shift from constriction to expansion, from lack to abundance. Chapter 20. The Sacred Breath Ritual, Creating Your Daily Manifestation Practice. In the first light of dawn, a village elder sat beneath an ancient oak tree. As seekers gathered around him with their questions and prayers, he remained silent, taking one deep, conscious breath. The air shimmered with possibility. You have been taught that manifestation requires constant effort, endless affirmations, visualizations, and rituals. Yet the truth lies in simplicity. One conscious breath, taken with pure intention, holds more power than countless unconscious prayers. The breath you take upon waking shapes the hours that follow. Most rush into their day, breathing shallow and fast, carrying yesterday's worries into tomorrow's possibilities. But those who know the secret begin differently. They pause, breathe with purpose, and set the vibration for what is to come. In the mountains of a distant land lived Ahmad, a traveler who had lost his way. For days he wandered, consulting maps and asking directions, growing more confused with each step. One evening, an old woman shared a secret. Breathe with intention at sunrise and sunset. The breath will guide you home. At first, Ahmad dismissed her words as nonsense. But with no other option, he began the practice. Each morning and evening he would stop, face the sun, and take one conscious breath. Gradually, his steps became sure, his path clear. He found himself drawn to the right roads, meeting the right people, arriving exactly where he needed to be. The ancient breath ritual. As the first light touches the horizon, find a quiet space. Stand or sit with your spine straight, facing east. Close your eyes and take one deep, conscious breath. Feel the air filling your lungs with golden light, carrying the energy of new possibilities. As you inhale, feel your desire as if it is already manifested, letting every cell of your body vibrate with the reality of its existence. Hold this breath for a moment, allowing your entire being to resonate with this truth, sensing how the energy of creation flows through you. As you exhale, release all doubt, all hesitation, all resistance, knowing the universe has already begun moving in response to your intention, weaving the tapestry of manifestation in ways beyond your comprehension. This single breath, taken with complete presence, sets the frequency for your entire day, attuning your spirit to the infinite possibilities that await. Repeat at sunset, closing the energetic circle, completing the sacred rhythm that connects you to the eternal dance of creation. One conscious breath, twice daily, is all that is required. No elaborate rituals, no complex ceremonies. In this simplicity lies extraordinary power, for it is not in the grandness of our actions, but in the depth of our awareness that true transformation occurs. Part 3. Mastering the Breath of Reality Creation. Chapter 21. The Breath of Presence, Unlocking the Eternal Now. A wandering seeker journeys through distant lands, searching for the elusive key to inner peace. At last, he discovers a sage dwelling in a simple mountain cave. The sage's eyes shine with ancient wisdom as the seeker poses his question, "Where do I find peace?" Without speaking, the sage fills a clay bowl with crystal clear water and hands it to the seeker. "Drink this water," the sage instructs, "but you may only drink it in the past or future." The seeker stares at the bowl, perplexed. He attempts to drink tomorrow's water, but his lips remain dry. He tries to taste yesterday's water, but the bowl holds nothing for him there. Only when he surrenders to the present moment does the cool liquid touch his lips. You see, the breath mirrors this truth. No matter how you try, you cannot breathe tomorrow's breath or reclaim yesterday's. The breath exists solely in the eternal now, the sacred present moment where all power resides. This is why those who master manifestation first master presence through breath. Modern science has unveiled what the ancients always knew. When you breathe deeply in the present moment, your brain waves shift. The mind's scattered energy comes into focus, stress dissolves, and clarity emerges. In this state of presence, you access the quantum field where all possibilities exist. In the distant kingdom of Arantha lived a celebrated warrior who spent his days preparing for future battles. His mind constantly raced ahead, imagining conflicts yet to come. Each night, fear and anxiety plagued his dreams. Then he met a mysterious teacher who shared one simple truth. The warrior who breathes fully in the now fears nothing, for fear exists only in thoughts of tomorrow. The warrior began practicing presence through breath. With each conscious inhale, he anchored himself in the current moment, discovering that all his fears existed in an imagined future that never arrived. His power grew not through endless preparation, but through deep presence. The present moment breath. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Allow your breath to flow naturally, neither forcing nor controlling it. Notice how each breath arrives precisely in this moment. Not a second before, not a second after. As thoughts arise about the past or future, simply return your attention to the physical sensation of breathing. Feel the cool air entering your nostrils, the gentle expansion of your chest, the warm exhale. Let each breath draw you deeper into now. If the mind wanders, return without judgment to the breath. Feel how each inhale creates a moment of pure presence. Each exhale releases all that is not this moment. Continue this practice for several minutes, allowing the breath to anchor you in the eternal now. Notice how peace naturally arises when you fully inhabit the present moment. Chapter 22. The Breath of the Divine, Merging with Universal Consciousness. In the sacred halls of an ancient temple, a student approaches the master with trembling reverence. "How do I hear the voice of the divine?" the student asks, his voice barely a whisper. The master's eyes sparkle with knowing as he leans close. "Listen to your breath," he replies softly. You see, breath is not merely air moving through your body. It is the first sound you make when entering this world, and the last whisper as you depart. It is the eternal song of creation flowing through you, the divine conversation that never ceases. Each breath carries the wisdom of ages, the whispers of universal truth. When you entered this world, your first action was to inhale, receiving life itself. Your last action will be to exhale, surrendering back to the source. Between these moments lies the sacred dance of breath, each cycle a prayer, each inhale a divine embrace, each exhale a letting go into cosmic flow. Modern research reveals what mystics have long known. Specific breathing patterns alter brainwave frequencies, lifting consciousness into realms of transcendence. In these elevated states, the veil between physical and spiritual dissolves, allowing direct communion with higher wisdom. In a monastery high in the mountains, there lived a monk named Kenzo who sought divine union through countless practices. One day, sitting in meditation, he discovered that his breath was not his own. It was the universe breathing through him. As he surrendered to this truth, his awareness expanded beyond physical form. Through breath alone, he touched the infinite, his being dissolving into pure light. Sacred breath of divine connection. Sit in stillness and close your eyes. Begin by observing your natural breath without changing it. Feel how each breath moves through you like a divine current. Now, slowly deepen your breathing, imagining each inhale drawing in universal light and wisdom. With each exhale, release all that separates you from divine consciousness. As your breath deepens, imagine it flowing not just through your lungs, but through your entire being. Feel how each breath connects you to the cosmic dance of creation, Let your awareness expand with each cycle, dissolving the illusion of separation. Continue breathing this way, allowing each breath to be a bridge between physical and spiritual realms. Feel yourself becoming one with the eternal breath that moves through all things. In this sacred space, listen deeply, not with your ears, but with your entire being. The voice of the divine speaks in the silence between breaths. Chapter 23. The silence between breaths, the gateway to miracles. In the heart of an ancient city, a sculptor named Ravi worked endlessly on a block of marble. His hands moved with skill, yet something was missing. The stone refused to yield its hidden beauty. Day after day he chiseled and carved, but perfection remained elusive. Seeking guidance, he visited his teacher, an old artisan renowned throughout the land. After listening to Ravi's frustration, the teacher offered unexpected counsel. Do nothing. Confused but trusting, Ravi obeyed. He sat before the unfinished stone, his tools untouched. At first his mind raced with impatience, but as hours passed, something shifted. In the depths of stillness, he began to see what his busy hands had missed. When he finally lifted his chisel again, it moved as if guided by an unseen force, revealing the masterpiece that had always dwelled within. You see, creation does not emerge from constant doing. It flows from the spaces between action, the sacred pause where infinite potential resides. Just as the pause between your breaths holds profound power, these moments of stillness are portals to the unseen realms where manifestation begins. In the mountains of Tibet, a woman named Maya sought an answer that had eluded her for years. She had traveled far, consulted many wise ones, yet found no resolution. One evening, sitting in meditation, she noticed the space between her breaths, a moment of perfect stillness. In that silence, clarity dawned like the rising sun. The answer she sought had always been there, waiting in the quiet spaces of her own breath. The silent breath of creation. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Begin breathing naturally, noticing the rhythm of your breath. Now, after each exhale, allow yourself to rest in the pause that follows. Don't force it. Simply observe this space of stillness. With each cycle, let the pause extend naturally. Feel how this space between breaths is not empty, but filled with potential. It is here, in this sacred stillness, that the universe reorganizes itself according to your deepest intentions. As you practice, notice how answers and insights may arise spontaneously from this space. The pause between breaths is your gateway to infinite intelligence, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Continue this practice, allowing each pause to be a moment of pure potential, a space where manifestation begins in silence. Chapter 24. The Breath of Trust, Surrendering to the Flow. In a distant port, a young sailor named Thomas battled fierce winds, his muscles straining against the elements. The more he fought, the more exhausted he became, yet his vessel barely moved. His desperate struggle caught the eye of an old captain who had navigated these waters for decades. "Your battle is with yourself, not the wind," the captain said, his voice carrying wisdom earned through countless storms. "Adjust your sails, not your struggle." You see, this truth extends far beyond the seas. When you fight against life's currents, you create resistance that blocks your manifestations. Your breath reveals this pattern. Notice how a desperate inhale creates tension, while a trusting exhale brings immediate relief. The way of universal flow is not through force, but through alignment. Just as a sail must work with the wind rather than against it, your breath must dance with life rather than wrestle it. Modern science has unveiled what ancient mariners knew intuitively. When you exhale slowly and trust in the process, your nervous system shifts from fight or flight to a state of receptivity. In the bustling markets of Alexandria, a merchant named Karim spent years chasing wealth, his breath short and anxious as he pursued each opportunity. His fortunes remained meager until the day he learned to stop pursuing and start allowing. He began breathing differently, not with the sharp, desperate inhales of someone lacking, but with the deep, trusting exhales of one who knows abundance is natural. Within months, opportunities began flowing to him effortlessly, as if carried on the very winds he had once fought against. The breath of surrender. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Begin by noticing your natural breath pattern. Feel how your chest rises and falls like waves on the ocean. Now focus particularly on your exhale. With each breath out, imagine releasing not just air, but all need to control outcomes. Let each exhale be longer than your inhale, creating a natural rhythm of trust and surrender. As thoughts arise about your desires and manifestations, don't push them away. Instead, breathe into them with complete trust. Feel how each exhale carries away the tension of wanting, replacing it with deep acceptance of what is and what's coming. Continue this practice, allowing each breath to remind you that manifestation flows most freely when you stop forcing and start trusting. Let your breath become a prayer of surrender to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Chapter 25. The breath of expansion, releasing limits forever. In the heart of an ancient city, a child named Zara spent her mornings watching a caged bird. Each day, she noticed how the bird hopped from perch to perch, never attempting to spread its wings. The cage door had rusted open long ago, yet the bird remained, bound not by metal bars, but by its own forgotten potential. You see in this simple scene a reflection of your own breath, how it has become caged, restricted, shallow. Like that bird, your breath has forgotten its natural power, its ability to soar beyond perceived limitations. Each shallow inhale reinforces the invisible bars you have accepted as reality. Modern science now validates what mystics have known for millennia. When you breathe deeply into your diaphragm, your entire being expands. Studies reveal that full, conscious breathing triggers a cascade of physiological changes. Confidence hormones surge, energy fields amplify, and limiting neural pathways begin to dissolve. In the sacred halls of an ancient temple, there lived an artist named Maya, who could never complete her masterpiece. Her brush would hover, trembling with doubt, until she learned the sacred art of breathing beyond boundaries. She began each morning breathing not as the artist she thought she was, but as the master she knew she could become. With each expansive breath, the walls of self-doubt crumbled. Her art transformed, flowing from a place of limitless potential rather than constrained fear. The breath of infinite potential. Begin by placing one hand on your belly and one on your heart. Close your eyes and feel how your current breath moves. Notice its patterns, its limitations. Now imagine your breath as wings, long dormant but ready to unfold. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling your belly expand like a balloon. As you fill your lungs completely, visualize each breath dissolving one limiting belief. Feel your energy field expanding with each inhale, pushing past all perceived boundaries. Exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any remaining doubts about your capabilities. Let each exhale carry away the whispers of, "I can't," or "I'm not enough." Continue breathing this way, allowing each cycle to remind you of your infinite nature. With every breath, feel yourself becoming the embodiment of limitless potential. Just as the bird was never truly caged, you were never truly bound, except by the beliefs you can now release with each conscious breath. Chapter 26. The breath of instant shifts, quantum leaps in reality. Along the bustling streets of an ancient marketplace, a beggar named Hassan observed a nobleman passing by. The contrast between them seemed vast, fine silk against tattered cloth, confident stride against weary shuffle. "What makes him different from me?" Hassan whispered to himself. A mystic, wrapped in simple robes, appeared beside him. "The distance between who you are and who you could be is measured in a single breath," the mystic said, touching Hassan's shoulder. "Your breath carries the pattern of poverty because you breathe as one who lacks. He breathes as one who owns the world." You may think transformation requires time, effort, countless steps. Yet the quantum field, the invisible fabric of reality, responds not to duration but to state. Your breath is the swiftest bridge between states of being. When you shift your breath, you instantly shift your vibration, and reality must reorganize itself accordingly. In the mountains far to the east lived Kai, a humble shepherd who dreamed of becoming a merchant. Each night, he would count his meager savings, sighing with resignation, until one evening, a wandering sage taught him the secret. Breathe not as who you are, but as who you wish to become. That very night, Kai began breathing with the confidence of a successful merchant. By morning, his entire bearing had shifted. Within days, opportunities emerged that had been invisible before. His transformation appeared miraculous to others, but Kai knew it began with a single conscious breath. The quantum breath of transformation. Sit upright, eyes closed. Feel your current breathing pattern. Notice how it reflects your present identity. Now prepare for the shift. Inhale sharply through your nose, filling your lungs completely in one powerful breath. Hold this breath for a moment, feeling energy surge through your body. As you hold, know that in this pause, quantum reorganization occurs. Release the breath explosively through your mouth, as if expelling your old identity. Immediately draw in another sharp breath, this time breathing as your desired self would breathe. Feel the authority, the confidence, the knowing in this new breath. Continue this pattern for 7 cycles. Sharp inhale, brief hold, explosive exhale. With each cycle, embody more fully the energy of your new state. Your nervous system is being recoded, your energy field restructured, your reality reimagined, all through the power of conscious breath. This is not visualization or pretense, it is quantum shifting through breath. Science confirms that rapid, intentional breathing patterns can alter brain chemistry within seconds, creating immediate shifts in perception and possibility. Chapter 27. The Breath of the Infinite, Living Beyond the Illusion of Lack. In the heart of an ancient desert, a thirsty man named Adil stumbled across a stone well. His throat burned with thirst, yet as he peered into its depths, he saw only shadows. "Empty," he muttered, turning away to continue his desperate journey. What Adil could not see, what his constricted, fearful breathing prevented him from discovering, was the cool, clear water that lay just beyond his vision. You too may be walking past wells of abundance, your breath so shallow with doubt that you cannot sense the prosperity that surrounds you. The universe is not a place of limitation. It is an infinite field of possibility. Yet when you breathe in patterns of scarcity, your perception creates the very limitations you fear. Watch how you breathe when you think of money, of opportunity, of success. Is your breath tight, restricted, anxious? This is the breath of lack, and it shapes your reality as surely as ripples shape the surface of a pond. In the merchant district of a bustling coastal city, there lived a trader named Rahim who saw only closed doors and fierce competition. His breath was quick and shallow, matching his anxious thoughts about survival. A wise woman noticed his distress and taught him to breathe as though abundance were as infinite as the ocean waves. "The market is not your enemy," she said. "It is as vast as your breath allows it to be." As Rahim began to breathe deeply and expansively, his perception shifted. Where he once saw competitors, he now recognized potential partners. Opportunities he had overlooked suddenly became visible. His business flourished not because the market had changed, but because his breath had transformed his ability to perceive abundance. The infinite abundance breath. Stand with your feet firmly planted on the ground, arms relaxed at your sides. Begin with a slow, complete exhale, releasing all limitations and doubts about abundance. Now inhale through your nose as if drawing in all the wealth of the universe. Feel your lungs expand in all directions, front, back, sides. Imagine your energy field expanding with each breath, becoming vast enough to receive infinite abundance. As you hold this breath at the top, feel yourself becoming one with the limitless nature of the universe. Your body is a channel for infinite prosperity. Release the breath slowly through your mouth, knowing that as you exhale, you are not losing anything. You are creating space for even more abundance to flow in. With each cycle, allow your breath to become deeper and more expansive. Feel yourself becoming the embodiment of infinite abundance. The universe is not withholding. It is waiting for you to breathe in alignment with its limitless nature. Chapter 28. The Creator's Breath. Becoming the source of your reality. In a palace of white marble, a young king sat upon his throne, gripping its golden arms as whispers of rebellion echoed through his kingdom. His advisor, an ancient sage who had served 3 generations of rulers, watched his shallow, uncertain breaths. "Your power does not rest in that seat of gold," the sage said, approaching the throne. "It flows from the way you breathe. You must understand this fundamental truth. Before a word is spoken, before a decree is made, before any action shapes the world, breath determines the outcome. When you breathe from fear, the world responds with chaos. When you breathe from power, reality aligns with your sovereignty. The breath is your first act of creation. It precedes thought, word, and deed. Modern science has unveiled what the ancients knew. Your breath patterns directly influence your posture, your decision-making capacity, and most crucially, how you perceive yourself in relation to the world around you. In a distant village lived a woman named Layla, who believed herself powerless against life's circumstances. Each morning, her breath was shallow and quick, matching her feeling of helplessness. Until one day, a traveling mystic observed her breathing pattern and said, "You breathe like a leaf in the wind, when you could breathe like the wind itself." The mystic taught her to breathe deeply, from her core, filling her entire being with each inhale. "Breathe as though you already hold the power to shape your reality," he instructed. With each new breath, Layla's presence transformed. Her shoulders straightened, her voice found its strength, and those around her began responding differently. Within months, she had transformed her circumstances, not through external change, but through the power of her breath. The sovereign breath practice. Begin by sitting or standing tall, as though an invisible crown rests upon your head. Place one hand on your lower abdomen, the other on your heart. Release all air from your lungs, emptying yourself completely. Now, inhale slowly through your nose, feeling the breath first fill your belly, then your chest. As you inhale, imagine drawing in the power that creates worlds. Hold this breath briefly at its peak, feeling the energy coursing through your entire being. As you exhale through slightly parted lips, project this power outward, as though your breath is shaping reality itself. Feel each exhale carrying your intentions into the world, restructuring it according to your vision. Let your breath become a gentle wind of transformation, sweeping through the ethers of possibility. With each cycle, deepen this breath of sovereignty. Let each inhale fill you with divine authority. Each exhale manifests your conscious creation. You are not merely breathing, you are crafting reality with each breath. This sacred rhythm aligns you with the very force that spins worlds into being, that births stars and shapes destinies. As you continue this practice, sense the growing connection between your breath and the cosmic dance of creation, knowing that you participate in the grand orchestration of universal law. Chapter 29, The Breath of Completion, the Circle of Creation. In the early morning light, a weaver sits before her completed tapestry. Her fingers trace the intricate patterns she has woven, each thread a testament to patience and vision. "It is done," she whispers, releasing a deep breath. In that moment of exhale, her eyes widen. Within the finished work, she sees another design waiting to emerge, more beautiful than the first. You must understand this eternal truth. Manifestation flows in cycles, like the breath itself. Each completion carries within it the seed of a new beginning. When you breathe in, you draw in fresh vision. When you breathe out, you release what has been created. This rhythm mirrors the universe itself, an endless dance of birth, completion, and renewal. In the mountains, there lived a sage named Ramin, who spent years seeking enlightenment through meditation. One day, as he observed his breath, he noticed how each exhale naturally led to an inhale, how each ending transformed seamlessly into a beginning. Through this simple observation, he discovered the sacred rhythm of creation, that completion is not an end, but a doorway. The breath teaches us this wisdom. Nothing truly ends. Each manifestation you bring into form is but one note in an infinite symphony. When you align with this truth, you free yourself from the weight of finality. Your creations flow one into another, each achievement opening the path to greater possibilities. The completion renewal breath practice. Sit quietly and bring to mind something you have recently completed or manifested. Place both hands over your heart. Take a full, deep breath in, gathering all the energy of your achievement. As you exhale slowly, feel a profound sense of completion, of having brought something beautiful into form. In the pause after the exhale, rest in the emptiness. This is the sacred space between endings and beginnings. Now breathe in again, drawing in fresh inspiration. Feel how naturally new visions arise in the space created by completion. Continue this rhythm, breathing in new possibilities, breathing out completions. Each cycle honors what has been created while opening to what wishes to emerge. This is the breath of eternal creation, the rhythm that sustains the universe itself. Through this practice, you align with the infinite flow of manifestation, understanding that every ending is simply a new beginning in disguise. Chapter 30, The Final Breath, A New Beginning. A student, after years of studying ancient texts and seeking wisdom from countless teachers, approaches his master with one final question. "What is the final teaching?" he asks, his voice heavy with expectation. The master simply smiles, draws in a deep breath, and releases it slowly. "That is all," he says. You have journeyed through these pages, uncovering the sacred connection between breath and manifestation. Yet the greatest truth lies in its simplicity. The breath itself is the teacher, the guide, the key to all transformation. Each breath you take is both an ending and a beginning, a completion and an invitation. In a distant monastery, there lived a seeker named Darius, who spent decades collecting spiritual teachings, filling countless scrolls with wisdom. One day, as he sat surrounded by his precious knowledge, he felt something was missing. In frustration, he closed his eyes and took a deep breath. In that moment, everything became clear. The breath he had taken for granted was the very essence of all he had sought. The breath is the thread that weaves through every teaching, every practice, every transformation. It is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. As this journey reaches its natural completion, remember, nothing is truly finished and nothing is ever lost. The power you seek has always been as close as your next breath. The final integration breath. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Sit with your spine straight but relaxed, your hands resting gently in your lap. Close your eyes and take 3 natural breaths, allowing your awareness to settle into the present moment. Now, with each inhale, gather all the wisdom you have gained on this journey. Feel how each teaching has become part of your being. With each exhale, release any remaining doubt or resistance. Let your breath flow naturally, carrying you into deeper awareness of your own creative power. As you continue breathing, feel how each breath connects you to the infinite field of possibility. There is no separation between you and what you wish to create. The breath that moves through you now is the same breath that moves through all of creation, linking you to the vast cosmic dance of manifestation. Stay with this practice for as long as feels right, knowing that in each moment, with each breath, you are both complete and beginning anew. This is not an ending, but a doorway into conscious creation, carried forward by the eternal rhythm of your breath. Let each inhale fill you with divine potential, and each exhale release you into perfect trust. You have always been the creator of your reality. This breath simply awakens you to this timeless truth. Feel the power of this knowing settle into your very cells, becoming as natural as the rise and fall of your chest. Greater than. Get your free ebook straight into your email inbox. The link is in the pinned comment. Greater than. Conclusion. This book may be ending, but your transformation is only beginning. Every breath is a doorway, every inhale is an invitation, every exhale is a choice. The inner secret is no longer hidden from you. You hold it now, in every breath you take. The question is, what will you breathe into existence next? The ancient texts speak of a moment when knowledge transforms into wisdom, when teachings move from the mind into the very fabric of being. That moment is now. With each breath you take, you write your own story of transformation. The power that mystics and sages guarded for millennia now flows through you naturally, as effortlessly as the rise and fall of your chest. You have uncovered what was always yours, the divine rhythm that shapes reality itself. No longer must you search outside yourself for the keys to manifestation. They pulse within you, in the sacred space between each heartbeat, in the quantum dance of each breath. Think back to when you first opened these pages. You were seeking something, perhaps answers, perhaps power, perhaps peace. Yet what you have found is far greater. The recognition that you are the breath of the universe itself, creating and recreating your reality with each moment. The breath you take now carries within it all possibilities. It holds the power to dissolve what no longer serves you and to birth what you truly desire. This is not the end of a book. It is the beginning of your conscious creation. In the silence between these words, feel the pulse of your own breath. Notice how it moves through you, how it connects you to the infinite field of potential. This is your inheritance, your birthright, your true nature unveiled. You stand now at the threshold of unlimited potential. The ancient wisdom has been revealed, not as something to learn, but as something to remember. Your breath is the bridge between worlds, between who you were and who you are becoming. The masters of old would say that true wisdom cannot be contained in words, only experienced in the living breath. Now you understand why. Each breath you take is a new beginning, a fresh canvas upon which to paint your desires, a quantum moment of pure potential. Let your next breath be a conscious choice. Let it carry the full weight of your awakened awareness. For in this breath, and every breath that follows, you hold the power to reshape your reality, to manifest your deepest desires, to transform not just yourself, but the very world around you. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.